See, the question is sometimes some questions are slightly incomplete kind of thing. Okay, so that makes it a little, they're not so well worded. Perhaps I will just reframe the question and see how it makes sense. Morning, everyone. So let's get started with RLC circuit. Not started, we're already in this topic. And a major part of understanding of RLC circuit we have done last week. And this week also, next 3 days, we'll continue with application of concepts of RLC circuit, AC circuit. And as you may recall, this is mostly understanding of phasors. So let's have a kind of recap of RLC circuit. RLC, what does RLC circuit, AC circuit mean? You have a supply, this is how we represent. This is AC supply source, which is alternating current. If AC supply source or known AC supply source, what is required to be known in case AC supply source is amplitude, frequency, and a phase constant. Phase constant is arbitrary, that depends on time you start your measurement. It is connected in to 3 elements in series. And assume that all 3 values are known. So if we connect a known AC source to known current elements, how do we solve the circuit? What does solving an AC circuit mean? So what are things which we might be interested in finding out here? If this voltage source is connected, what are things we need to find out? Whether things which are unknown to completely solve the circuit? We need to know how the current will flow, what will the current here, what will the voltage across resistor, what is the voltage across inductor, what is the voltage across capacitor. If you find that these are the 4 unknown quantities to begin with. So solving an AC circuit basically means finding out all these quantities which are relevant, and maybe afterwards the power as well. Now, what is the power consumption in the circuit? If you find all these values, and you notice all these values are related. Only thing we have to keep in mind, all these quantities are varying as a sine function. To find all 3 values, we need to find 3 things. We need to find amplitude, we need to find omega, we need to find phase constant. One important thing every time we keep in mind, whatever omega the source has, all will have same value of omega. So essentially we are left with finding amplitudes. And if you may recall, how do you find this one? See, the key point is, key point in the circuit is all cases. See, all cases there's a resistance element, inductor element, capacitor element. If we take them independently, each one of them, the potential difference of voltage across each element and current flowing through it, sinusoidal current and sinusoidal voltage, both are related. Something similar to Ohm's law. In all cases, it is something similar. That's how we can interpret AC circuit also. So VR and I are related. VL and I across inductor are related, and VC and C are related. How are they related? But relationship is between amplitude. Kathy, any question?
No, sir, that was by mistake.
Okay, no problem. So relationship, see, when you look at the amplitude, again, that's what you need to understand. The equation, what we have is relationship between amplitudes. So amplitude of current amplitude is related to VR. So here also current is related to VL amplitude. So maximum value of VL is related to maximum value of current, though they may not happen at the same time. That's an important point we need to understand. Here also the maximum value of current which flows through capacitor is related to maximum value of voltage across capacitor. Again, that also may not happen at the same time. So they are related. They may differ in phase, but they are related. How are they related? I think that's something I think all of you should recall. What is I equal to? I is equal to VR by R. Here also I equal to, in this case, an inductor. It will be equal to VL by XL. Here will be equal to VC by XC. And so these are things in place of resistance. We have something called as reactance. So this is capacitive reactance, inductive reactance. So if this is given, how we solve this circuit? The moment this is given, first thing what you should do, whenever this term is given, if inductor and capacitors are given, we can find out XL value and XC value. What is XL equal to omega L? X is equal to 1 by omega C. So we can find out reactances, we can find out inductive reactance, we can find out capacitive reactance. Then what we should do next, once we have those 2 values, we can find out impedance, Z value. So once we find impedance, it becomes like this one whole thing put together, all 3 put together is called impedance. So once we find impedance, impedance and current are related. V impedance and I are related. Once we find impedance, we can find out either peak or RMS value of current. I is equal to V by Z. Once we find out current value, then we can find VR also, VL also, VC also. What is VR will be, once we have current value, VR will be equal to I into R, VL will be equal to I into XL, and VC will be equal to I into XC. So we can find out voltages. And we can also find out, once we have R value and Z value, we can also phase difference tan phi. This phase difference is between current and the voltage. This voltage and the current which is going in the circuit. That's a phase difference in terms of phasor. And this value, the circuit here could be inductive or capacitive. This case I have taken circuit to be inductive. It depends on relative value of XL and XC. If inductive reactance is greater than capacitive reactance, it is inductive circuit. Other way around becomes capacitive circuit. So when in case of inductive circuit, potential will lead. So in this case, what does the phi value indicate? Angle, phase angle by which voltage leads current. Okay. So once we have phase value, we can write an equation of I. So if value of V was known, we can find value of, if once we know the phase difference, we can write the equation of I and we can draw the phasor. Okay. So any question? And once we have instantaneous or I, we can instantaneous value. So if we want to find out what is value at a particular instance, so suppose this current here, we have taken a case when the current is 0 at time t is equal to 0. If I draw this phasor at t is equal to 0, what is the value of current at time t is equal to 0? Value of current is equal to 0. Voltage across resistance is 0. And these are the kind of values this indicates at a particular instance. Instantaneous values of phasor. Suppose I want to draw a phasor. Suppose I want to find out what are the value of VL and VC and current when applied voltage is 0. Can we draw a phasor for applied voltage is 0? So suppose the question is, I have drawn this one. I found all the value of VL, VC. And so length of this, all these angles also we know. So can we draw a phasor when applied voltage is 0? Can the applied voltage be 0? How do I draw the phasor when applied voltage is 0? So applied voltage is any instance, what all I need to do, this is phasor. We have to rotate the phasor appropriately. So when applied voltage is 0, it doesn't imply the VR and VL and VC is 0. So even when applied voltage is 0, each of these will not be 0. How do we draw up anybody? When applied voltage is 0, what should I do? How should I reorientate my phasor diagram to get this condition? What should we do?
Rotate by 5.
Rotate by 5. So this is something. This if I rotate, but this is okay. So sorry, I will come to that. We will rotate by 5 angle. This will become 0. And second thing, what we notice, whatever phasor we have in voltage, same thing we have in terms of reactance, impedance, and resistance. So both phasors are only thing they are similar triangles, and we can find instantaneous values. See, suppose we take the, okay, I'll come to that question. I think I have drawn in the next group. Then we looked at, so that is first solving the circuit. We found the value of I, we can find the values of voltages. How about power consumption? What is the key point we need to remember in case of power consumption? Shravani, can you tell me what are the key point in power consumption? I have found the value of I. We know the value of V. What is power consumption? Average power consumption in the circuit. Shravani, anything comes to your mind? What is average power consumption? How should we find average power consumption? No?
Not sure, sir.
Not sure. Ashray, can you tell me what is average power consumption?
Sir, IRMS square R.
Power consumption, that's the point. So what we see here, the power consumption, we are talking about average power consumption. Power consumption is point what you have to keep in mind. Power consumption is only in the resistor. There's no, here average power consumption, both of them are 0. They
because cos phi will be 0, sir.
So basically the key point, moment I come to this only in the resistor. And what is power consumption? I forget the rest of it. So if I know the value of current, if I know the RMS value of current, so this I indicates RMS value. Power consumption is I square R. That's what I'm pretty simple. So if we understand this point, average, Shravani, what's the difficult point?
No, sir.
No, and I should have remembered that. And that's not a very complex thing, okay? And only in the register. And then I can write this term in other forms. What are other forms we can write, and why do we write in other form? So IRF I retain, I write as I is equal to V by Z, RMS value, voltage divided by impedance. And it becomes equal to VI, R by Z equal to cos phi. That's another term we write. Why we write in this term? Many times the meters, what we have for measurement of power consumption, the meter measure current. Okay, so but power consumption will not be a product of V and I. It will depend on the phase difference between voltage and current. So VI cos phi. We can write in this, what is this term cos phi? This is, I think we can understand this phasor diagram. Easy to understand. It comes from this triangle and this angle phi. And this term is called power factor. And when we look at the current also, see, basically when we take I cos phi is the component which is causing power consumption. And as I mentioned last time, though it is not a great concept, but is commonly used to term, what is wattless component of current? Wattless component, this is power consuming component. Other component is wattless component, which is perpendicular to V. I sin phi is wattless component. That's all, nothing more we need to know about this. And we can write in other forms also. What other forms I can write? This power is equal to I square R. What is R equal to? This hypotenuse is impedance Z. This angle is phi. So Z cos phi is equal to R. So I can replace R with what? I square into impedance into cos phi. So that if we understand this and if we understand phasor, we can write in multiple forms, but easiest form to understand is power consumption is equal to power consumed in resistor. That's what we had done last time. Okay, so this is something all cases I have done. Inductive circuit. What does capacitive circuit mean? Capacitive circuit mean it depends on relative value of two reactances, capacitive reactance, inductive reactance. If only one of them is present, automatically suppose capacitor is not there, automatically becomes an inductive circuit. Or other way around also, if inductor is not there, automatically becomes a capacitive circuit. But when both are present, whether the circuit will have what kind of characteristics it will display will depend on relative value of these two terms. What are these two terms indicate? What does XC indicate? Reactance. X term is reactance, Z term is impedance. What is reactance? Reactance, this one is if capacitive reactance is greater than inductive reactance, it's a capacitive circuit. And what is the property of capacitive circuit? IC. In case of capacitive circuit, current will lead voltage as the case shown here. See, it is rotating like this. So which one is ahead? If this is circle they are running on, this is ahead. Just imagine, see, even we would have seen in case of track and field events, sports event, and those runners, they run in kind of circular tracks. So if they are running in this direction, which one is ahead? Which one is leading here? Here the current is leading. So in case of capacitive circuit, current leads voltage, and the lead can be anything greater than 0 up to 90. When would this phi be 90? When resistance is 0 and inductor is not present, and then it becomes 90. Okay. In this case, capacitive, of course, VC also will be greater than VL. And in that case, we'll calculate phase angle as XC minus XL if it is greater. And this is the property of capacitive property. And this is how the phasor will look like. No great difference conceptually. Both are very similar, but we have drawn the phasor for this also. Okay. Now we'll go through some applications of the same. Okay. Next 2-3 days, I think in terms of new concept, very little. Mostly it is making use of what we know already. Okay. So let's start with the several questions. So in this case, in LSR, read the question here, all of you, one by one. We'll go through all the questions. I'll give a minute or two for all of you to read and ask some of you one by one. Kaushik?
Yes, sir.
Can you answer this question? What is this question? Can you answer the question? Have you understood how to answer?
I understood the question, still thinking of the answer.
Still not clear, okay. So what have you followed? See, if you read, first of all, we need to learn to understand question well. What have you understand from here? What are things which are given here?
Like voltage across all.
So basically, if I can, is it based on this information? Can I draw the phasor? Is it easy to draw the phasor?
Yes, sir.
So from here, 3 voltages are given. So we can draw voltage phasor. And voltage phasor, this is always the relative term. This is VR, and this is VL, and this is VC. And what is given? Each 3, when I draw these 3 arrows, all 3 arrows will have equal length. That also easy, because all are given 50. So they are equal length. So what will be the resultant applied voltage phasor? What will be the sum of these 3 terms?
VR.
VR only, because these 2 will cancel out. VL minus VC will become 0. Okay, so that's what the phasor is. Now let's understand, this is slightly new. What is the voltage across LC combination? So we are interested in what is the, what do you think will be the voltage across these 2 put together? See,
0.
Huh?
0, sir.
0. Is that difficult? See, if I connect a voltmeter, we are talking about what kind of voltmeter? We are talking about AC voltmeter. If I connect this voltmeter across capacitor, what will be the reading? Reading will be 50. If I connect a voltmeter across resistance, voltmeter reading will be 50. If I connect this across, also 50. But if I connect a voltmeter like this, how is the voltmeter connected? If this is how the voltmeter is connected, what does the voltmeter show? Voltmeter show the RMS value of voltage between 2 points it is connected to. And what is the RMS value of VL plus VC? So we look at the, so what does voltmeter show? Voltmeter reading is phasor sums of voltages. What is phasor sum? Since it is connected across LLC, it will show 0. So suppose I change the question a little bit. So that's part, this was the key point here, and this point we'll keep in mind. So whenever a voltmeter is connected across any 2 points, if there's more than one element between 2 of them, we have to take the phasor sum. We have to take the phasor sum. Kathy, have you understood this point?
Yes, sir.
So let me ask a small variation of the same question. Okay, Kathy, are you ready? Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now what we have done, this question, earlier the question was connected across LC combination. Now suppose I connect across R alone. What is the reading of voltmeter if I connect about like this, Kathy? Quite a difficult question. So what will the reading here? Not sure. Nishita, what will the reading of voltmeter here if I connect across R?
50, sir.
50. Okay, it will show the RMS value of voltage across resistance. Kathy, was that very difficult question? No?
No,
Okay.
sir.
No, so you should have answered. Okay, so let me ask one more variation here. What will happen if I connect voltmeter like this? If voltmeter is connected like this. Karthikeya, can you tell me what will be the reading of voltmeter now in this case? How is voltmeter connected? If you have to write in words, I would mention the voltmeter is connected across RL combination. What will be the reading of voltmeter now?
So it will be the resultant of VL and VR.
VL and very good. I think your word perfect wording of answer. It will be sum of VR and VL. What will the sum of these two? VR and VL both are 50-50. What is the sum of the two? Do we take as 100 or do we take the phasor sum here?
Phasor sum.
Phasor sum. So what is the phasor sum of these two? Phasor sum will be equal to 50
root 2.
50 root 2. So is that difficult to figure out? No, it's not difficult to figure out. All we need to keep in mind, voltmeter reading indicates phasor sum of the voltages across the element it is connected to. Okay. Let's come to next question. Okay, next question. All of you just read through and see how can you solve that question. Jaideep, can you solve this question?
Yes, sir.
Tell me, how would you solve it?
So we have the value of tan phi.
Very good. So first thing what we do, we start with what is given. And can you tell me what kind of circuit is this? Current, what is
capacitive?
Capacitive circuit. Very good. So first thing, how do I interpret this information? Current leads the voltage by 45 degree. So which basically means if you have to visualize is something like this. If this is I, this is how V will be. V will be at 45 degree. This is I and this is V. So first what I understood is this capacitive circuit. So is it everybody is capacitive circuit? Easy to figure out capacitive circuit. So when I write, what is this? How do I use this angle for phase angle?
XC minus XL equal to R.
XC minus XL is equal to divided by R is equal to 10 pi. That's all this equation. Nearest all is very simple. Value, let's substitute these values. So what is this equal to 1? So xc minus xl, and then I substitute the value. What is xc is equal to 1 by omega c. Or since it is, this question is about frequency, I can write omega as 2 pi f. So 1 by omega c I can write as 2 pi f c minus, 2 pi f c, omega c minus omega l. So omega l in place of l, 255 into l is equal to r. Thus equation we can easily find the value of c. So was it a difficult question? It was straightforward. If we understand the information given in the question, understand what is being asked for, very easily we can arrive at the answer. Okay. So this is how it will look like. Okay. Now, suppose in this question, if I add this question, can we draw the phasor when the applied voltage is 0? What I need to do, by how much angle do I need to rotate the phasor? So suppose the question was, okay, how would the phasor look like if applied voltage is 0? Can you all visualize? Whole thing has to rotate by what angle? It is rotating in which angle? Always we have to think phasor is rotating in anti-clockwise sense. So first of all, if I ask you, if this is the phasor at time t is equal to 0, time period is t. So what is the value of t? So okay, let me write something. What is the value of t? What is the value of t when applied voltage is 0? What is the value of time? At what time, minimum, after what time will the applied voltage become 0?
T by 8.
So this, it has to rotate. This angle is 45. So the whole thing, it has to rotate, and this V has to come here. When V comes horizontal, how it will look like? This is how it will look like. If we rotate by whole thing, see about this point, we rotate, and if this becomes horizontal, so what we understand, if we have this figure, what we understand from this figure, this will be the value of instantaneous value of VR. This will be the instantaneous value of VL, and this will be the instantaneous value of VC. That's how they will be. That's what it implies. So the sum of these two positive value will be equal to negative value. So if I draw, if this is positive and this is negative, this also will be positive because both are same sense. This will be negative, but this will be negative and this will be positive. So they are in the opposite sense. VC is in the opposite sense. Bhagishri? Bhagishri? No? Okay, so if I ask you what is the minimum time it will take for applied voltage to become maximum? How much angle it has to rotate for applied voltage to become? See, you notice here, applied voltage is 0. Still, all of them have non-zero voltages. How is that possible? The net still has to become 0. So if you just check this and you draw the phasor, I think last week also we've done exercise, it will come to 0. Okay. Let's look at this question. This is slightly different, and actually not sure whether it should be there in the syllabus or not, but simple application may come. The syllabus clearly states a series circuit. This is a parallel combination, but a parallel combination also is not too different. So let's understand even some simple example of parallel combination. What we have to do in this case, there are two parts to the circuit. There are two loops here. This part is current I1 and this current is I2. So what we need to find? We need to find the phase difference between current I1 and I2. Anybody would like to tell me how would you find phase difference between I1 and I2?
Sir, we take a reference phasor, then
which way? So basically, okay. So we can take a reference phasor. So what is it? It is what is this one? See, if I have to look at the circuit, how do I define the circuit? Two parallel combinations connected across same source. Source is same for both. So what I can do with reference to this voltage, I can find the phase of I1. With reference to voltage, I can find the phase of I2. And then since the voltage is as common, I can find, so if I can find out phasor of I1 with reference to voltage, if I can phasor of I2 with reference to voltage, we can find out phase difference between I1 and I2. So two parallel combination, two phasors will draw. One for top circuit, one for top loop, one for the bottom loop. How would the phasor look like for the top loop? So this part is capacitive circuit. What will the phase angle between I1 and voltage?
Pi by 2.
Pi by 2. Which one will lead?
Current
Let's
will
say this is voltage. If this is V, suppose I have drawn this V here. Now what is the relative angle? Because orientation doesn't matter. So here, first one is capacitive. So even every time, if you are not sure, I will always write, which will lead, current will lead by 90 degree. So first case, this will look like this. This is how the I1 will be. And if I draw for the lower half, XL is also there, R is also there. So how would this the circuit look like? If XL and R both are there, what kind of circuit this would be? This is, yeah, see this how we draw? We draw I here, and then we draw, this will be VR. This is a typical way we draw, and then let's look at this. And then with this one is VL, and this is V. And that's how we draw, is it not? And this also, but this is in terms of V. And in terms of resistances, this is R, this is Z, and this is XL. So, and this becomes your I phasor, and this becomes your V phasor. So what is it? So in this case, can we find phi here? What is tan phi in this case? Second case.
XL by R.
XL by R. So in this case, now how do we combine those two?
Yeah.
So compared to V, how is the I here? I is trailing by phi. So if I had to draw I2 phasor here in first one, how should I draw I2? All of you can visualize
Below
how the
V.
I2 should be drawn.
Below V, sir.
This is I. Yeah, I should be telling, I should draw I2 like this. This is I2. I2 is trailing, I2 is lagging V by angle phi. That's how I2 is. That's how we can combine those two. Now, can we find out the angle between I1 and I2 now?
Yes, sir.
So two phasors we have drawn, and we have used common references V. So again, I have combined I2 here. So angle between I1 and I2. So angle between 2 is equal to pi by 2 plus phi. That's angle between I1 and I2. And how much that will be? Angle between I1 and I2. And value of phi, you can substitute in whatever form. Phi is equal to tan inverse. Pranav?
Yes, sir.
Are you following this?
Yes, sir.
You understood this question properly?
Yes, sir. I understood.
Good. Okay, let's look at the next. Oh, black box question. Okay. Black box of unknown elements is connected to AC source, and current in the circuit is found like this. What is the unknown element in the box? So all of you think for a minute. Okay, let's look at this question here. Okay, looks a little more crowded kind of figure. So all of you just look up, try and interpret the question, try to think how to solve.
The capacitor and inductor.
Okay, so basically, if a figure looks slightly confusing, we can think of figure without ammeter and voltmeter. Okay, sorry. So tell me, okay, step by step, what you're going to do. Yeah, first step. What are you going to do? Step 1. We have to find voltmeter reading and ammeter reading. So what I need to do to find this value of, to find this voltmeter reading, what do we need? What do we need to find this voltmeter readings? Can you think of, have you done in the first slide we did something. So can you recall what we need to do? Do we need to find current here or not? We find ammeter reading, I have to find the current. And to find VL also I need the value of current. So if I can find current, I can find out, to find voltmeter reading, I need a phasor diagram of voltage. Anish, is that clear? To find
Yes.
voltmeter reading, I need phasor diagram of voltage, and to find the phasor diagram, I need current, and to find current, I need impedance. So that tells me the method clear. Okay, now can you tell me what are the steps involved? How do we solve this question? All of you are following, rest of you also. Let me ask some of you. Have you been listening? Samita, can you, Samita? Samita? No response. Okay, Grishma? Okay, some of the names I have to note down then. Some people are not responding. Samhita, no response, and Grishma also no response, and we'll do something about this. Shreya Rao? Shreya? Yes. Why you are finding impedance? After finding impedance, what will you find next?
Current, sir.
Current. And after finding current, what we can find?
Voltage.
Voltage. So one after finding current, after finding voltage, and based on that we have phasor, and then we can find the phasor sum. That's the logic, and that's what you need to find. What is impedance equal to? Is that difficult to find? What is impedance? Kevin, tell me the formula for impedance. How do we calculate impedance? For calculation of impedance, first I'll calculate XC, then I'll calculate XL, then I'll use the formula, I'll calculate impedance. R square plus XL minus XC whole square. Then we find the value of current. Current will be equal to
Vm by Vc.
Either RMS value, since here it is given in max value, I can find amplitude of current also. And then after finding what would be, can we find VR, VL, and VC? VL will be equal to I max into XL. VC will be equal to I max into XC, and VR also we can find out. Why are we finding all these voltages? Once we find their values, what we need to finally need to find? Phasor sum. So when we find the phasor sum, and then finally what my answer would be, it would be phasor sum of RMS values. RMS value of C and L. But even see in this particular case, if you try and solve, you find XL is equal to XC. In this particular case, what do we find here? We calculate XL and XC. Here, this what is XL is equal to XC will imply. If XL is equal to XC, do I have to carry out following steps or not necessary?
Not necessary, sir.
Why not necessary?
It will become zero, sir. The voltage.
It will become zero. Voltmeter reading, this will become very good, Kevin. I think this is something I'm happy that you answered properly. So moment I find XL is equal to XC, I know this VL will be equal to VC. And since they are in the opposite direction, if I take the phasor sum of the two, this is going to come to zero. So if this sum is zero, what is VR equal to? VR is nothing but VR will be equal to applied voltage. So whenever XC is equal to XL, it implies what? It implies VL and VC will be equal, VL will be equal to VC, or hence they will cancel out. Applied voltage is equal to VR. And what will the current in that case? That VR, and even Z also will be equal to R. If Z is equal to R, how much current will flow? If Z equal to R, very easy, you can easily get the answer. So what will the current value here? Can you tell me RMS, what is the current value here? RMS value. VRMS by Z. But VRMS is how much here? How much is VRMS here? 20 by root 2. And how much will Z will be equal to? Z will be equal to R. Because so Z is equal to 6. We substitute this value, we get our answer. Good, Kevin. Next question. This is even easier than that.
Sir?
Yes?
Sir, in the previous question, the inductor has an internal resistance of 4 ohms, right?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, but okay. I didn't mark that one, but this time I wanted to just solve it. I'm sorry, I forgot that one. You just solve it for this part. What happens if in the internal resistance? We'll come back to question again later on. First we'll do the simpler one. No, sorry, I intended to block it out. I didn't block it out. Assume that internal resistance is not there. First you solve this one and then think, suppose internal resistance is there. That we'll do after maybe a day or so. Vignesh, you have any query?
Sir, we just have to calculate the potential difference across the 4 ohms in that case, right?
No, see, how do we go about moment we place a resistance here? So in that case, it becomes slightly different question, and it may need slightly different approach. That question I will not do today. We'll do it maybe day after tomorrow. What you're saying is correct, but I don't want first, let's learn how to solve simpler questions, which doesn't have internal resistance. But I forgot that one. I should have blocked this out, what I intended. If you block it out, if both are equal, that's how we'll solve it. If it is internal resistance, some of you can figure it out now, but many of you may have little difficulty. So let's leave that aside for now. Okay, so, but those who can solve, please try and solve and show me in the evening session how did you solve it. In that case also the VR phasor also will get split. Vignesh, what will happen in that case?
Yes, sir.
So it can be solved, but I think it will be confusing for many people, and at this stage not necessary. First let's do the basic questions and then we'll come to that question later. Okay, but some of you can think, this is something I think some of you can solve it, but some of you may get confused for now. So I'll skip that part. I'll come to that part again later on. This question is even easier. Now, this question, most of you should be able to solve it. Ritika? No response. Given in adequate time, no response for Ritika. Okay. Hemant?
Yes, sir.
Can you solve this question?
Yes, sir.
Is it easy, very easy to solve?
Yes.
Tell me, how would you solve it? What are first thing you notice in this question?
They already gave the impedance. Reactance is full. So we have to find the...
So value, we don't have to calculate reactances. Very good. So your reactance values are given. Then?
And then we just have to find the
but you notice something special here. See, without calculation, can you tell me what will the reading of voltmeter here? Without any calculation. Zero. Why is that so?
Resonance, I mean.
No, why is this voltmeter reading is 0?
Because the phasor sum would be 0.
0. Because whenever XC is equal to XL, VC will be equal to VL, and their opposite phasor sum of VC and VL will be 0. So first thing you should notice, if XL is equal to XC, it implies VL is equal to VC. When I draw the phasor, they will be equal and opposite. Phasor sum of these two will become 0. The first thing I should have noticed that XC is equal to XL. If XC is equal to XL, it means Z is equal to R, and phasor sum of VL and VC is equal to 0. And can you tell me what is the ammeter reading in that case?
2. Like it becomes a normal circuit.
It becomes a circuit. Impedance is equal to R is equal to 45 ohms. So when I write value of current, so first I have to think, am I writing RMS value or peak value? Here when 90 volts is given, is it RMS value or it is peak value?
RMS.
RMS values. Unless it is written a sine term of peak value, this is RMS value. So IRMS will be equal to VRMS by impedance, which is equal to R itself.
R.
90 by
45.
And this will be RMS value. So every time you have to remember, whenever I have to find ammeter reading, I have to make sure I'm calculating RMS value of current. And sometimes we look at the peak value and now we have to convert into R. So this is a very simple question. Easily you could have calculated, but easily you could have found answer without any calculation. So first we need to make sure these kind of things we understand well. Okay. X is equal to XL question. Let's look at this question now. This also is a similar and easy question. So I'm 3-4 people. Grishma, are you there? No response. Samhita? No response. Ritika? No response. I'll see who are the people. No response. Neha? Neha?
Yes, sir.
Can you solve this question here on the screen? Now see this question, what does it tell? With this right one, this voltmeter is connected across voltage. This voltmeter is connected across capacitor. This is connected across VL. So what does this reading of 400 volts indicate? What does this 400 volts indicate, Ritika? Oh, sorry, Neha. Can you tell me what does this indicate? Not clear? Neha, can you answer this one? What does this reading, these two readings indicate? Pranav Soma.
Yes, sir.
What are these two readings indicate?
Both XL and XC.
Well, see, first of all, when I look at this, when I say what is the reading indicate, this reading, since it is connected across capacitor, this voltmeter reading indicates RMS value of potential across capacitor. Is it not?
Yes, sir.
So it indicates VC, but which VC? Does it indicate peak value or amplitude of VC? No, it indicates RMS value of VC. This indicates RMS value of VL. And since two are equal, current being same, what does this imply? So when I find VC and these two readings are equal, it implies VC and VL equals. If I draw the phasor, these two phasors will be of equal length and the sum of them become 0. Which condition this implies? If these two are equal, it implies XC is equal to XL. Which implies what are further things we can draw? So can you tell me what will the reading, this reading here?
It will be 100.
Huh?
100, same as applied voltage.
Very good. Because in that case, what will happen? These two will cancel out. VR becomes equal to applied voltage. So this reading will be 100 volts. Will it be 100 or 100 by root 2? This is RMS value. So this equal to RMS value of source. So 100 volts given, is it peak value or RMS value here?
RMS only.
RMS value. So this also reading will be 100. How about ammeter reading here? How do you find out ammeter reading here?
It will be 2 amperes, voltage by resistance.
Voltage by resistance. Because impedance is equal to, so whenever such cases there, VL is equal to VC, impedance becomes equal to R, and applied voltage becomes equal to voltage across resistance. They're all simple things, and current will become equal to applied voltage divided by resistance. Neha, have you followed this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Kirtana?
Yes, sir.
Have you followed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So they are fairly straightforward and easy questions. Okay. Okay, let's look at this question now. Okay, so Ashray, since you said you're getting 2.5, so 10 people have answered. Anybody else who's getting 2.5? All are getting same answer, 4.5. Jaideep, what is your answer? 4.5. Okay. Ashray, tell me what it. Okay, so this is different people are having different answers. Let me ask some people, someone who can explain the steps. Okay. Pranav Ganga, tell me how did you solve this question? Can you explain the steps involved? Pranav.
5 will be 5 by 3.
First thing, let me just step by step. Before you start solving, can you tell me the steps, how broad steps, what are the mental steps you had before to solve? What do you notice first thing here?
5 is equal to pi by 3.
And so yeah, first thing you notice 5 is equal to pi by 3. And 5 also, which type of circuit is it? Is that important to understand which type of circuit is it? Capacitive or inductive? Is it necessary or not necessary here to understand? 5 is equal to pi by 3. I think I should write with E leading. Which one is leading? E is leading. Okay. What else? So that's one thing. What else? So from this information, I find out 5. E is leading. What does E leading implies, Pranav? Is it not? Is this clear, all of you? Which is leading? E is leading. If E is leading, what kind of circuit is it? That's the first thing. Second, you need to figure out. What kind of circuit, Pranav, this is? If E is leading. Ali, it has to be inductive circuit. If it is inductive circuit, that's what. Then how should I figure out a value of, how do I get an equation which will help me finding out XL value? I have to find XL. So basically it makes sense. Which equation I'll use? Tan phi is equal to, see, tan phi value could be, it could be XC minus XL, it could be XL minus XC. But which one is it depends on what kind of circuit it is. So should I use XL minus XC is equal to by R, or should I use XC minus XL?
XL minus XC.
XL minus XC.
Why? Because it is clearly, it cannot be XC minus XL. This is the only option. Okay. So this is equal to pi by 3. So what do we get here? Root 3 is equal to XL minus, and what is the XC value given here? 1 divided by 2. Something like that. Is that okay or not? Not correct. Vignesh, is there anything flaw in this?
Correct only, right, sir?
Huh?
It's correct, right, sir?
May you tell me? Anybody else? Okay, correct only. Any other way you could have solved?
We find the
Sorry,
impedance.
the Z we can do. Impedance.
Yeah, we could have found impedance also. But in case of impedance, this is something, see, we have to necessarily make use of this pi by 3 also. So this is something you can find XL here. So what will XL come equal to? 2 root 3 plus 1. That's answer. Okay, Asha, how did you get 2.5?
Sir, I did it with the impedance formula and I got 2.5, sir.
That's what I was coming to. Suppose if we use impedance formula, what would happen if we use impedance formula? Let's see how do we use impedance formula. Why do we use impedance formula? Current and E both are given. I get two information. What is information I get? I use the impedance, Z value is equal to E by I, which is equal to, Z is equal to 2.5. But Z is equal to, problem is now, it is equal to R square plus XL minus XC square. Or I could have written as, of course, which point? Which one you have used?
XL minus XC only, sir.
You used XL minus XC.
Yes, sir.
So 2.5.
We should take XL minus XC equals to a positive value in the end, right, sir?
Yes. Yeah, but see, when we solve, when we take XL minus XC sometimes will give you two possible values. Not in this case, but some cases it may give you two possible values. But when you have two possible values, I could have taken XL minus XC or XC minus XL. But here, can I take both the things possible? Can I take both the answers as correct? Not in this case. I think I'll make a question where two answers may be possible. When two answers are possible, two values are XL possible. One based on XL minus XC is one root, other is XC minus XC. Which one we should take in that case? We should always take XC. See, in this case, XL has to be greater than XC. In this case, XL has to be greater than XC. Why is that so?
Because voltage is leading, sir.
Voltage is leading. So 2.5 is correct. Are you getting different answer from this?
Just from the impedance formula, it's coming 2.5 only, sir.
Okay, so what has happened here? I think, okay, let me check. I think the values which are given are not consistent. I think this kind of circuit may not be possible. If you calculate it, yes, it is. It will come equal to 6.25 minus 4, 2.25, 2.25, 1.5. It is coming, XL is equal to coming to 2.5. Okay. So if you calculate from this step, this is a different answer and this is a different answer. So this is something I think all of you, some of you can think of. Why are we getting different? I'll just stop here, but I think some of you can think of why there's a different answer.
I think third should be the correct answer, right? Because
but